Good morning children. So let's continue. So we will start from the Changpa. There I met Namgyal and came to know about the Changpa, a tribe living on the mountains. The Changpa tribe has only about 5,000 people. Okay, the whole tribe has only about 5,000 people. The Changpas are always on the move with their goats and sheep. Okay, they keep moving. They don't stay at their one place. They don't have their houses. Okay, they stay in the tents, right? So the Changpas are always on the move. They are nomadic people. They move from one place to another, right? They live where these sheep and goat they are comfortable at. So they are comfortable at very cold places, right? It is from these that they get all that they need. So what all they get from the sheep and the goat? They get milk, meat, skin for tents and wool for coats and sweaters. Their goats are their only treasures. Treasure means khajana. What they have is their goats and sheep, right? If a family has got more animals, it is considered more rich and important. From these special goats, they get wool for making the world famous Pashmina wool. The Changpa graze their goats at higher and colder places. Why do Changpas graze their goats at higher and colder places? So that, this is the answer, so that goats have more and soft hair. Okay, they have more and soft hair, right children? They stay high up on these mountains in a very difficult conditions because that is where these goats can live. This is their life and their livelihood. I was carrying very little of my belongings on my motorcycle, but the Changpas carry on my So I was carrying very little of my belongings on my motorcycle, but the Changpas carry everything that they own on their horses and yaks. It takes them only 2.5 hours to pack everything and move ahead. Okay, so within no time they put up their tents at the chosen place. The luggage is unpacked and their homes are ready. So children, they are so used to packing and unpacking. They pack their luggage, they make their houses again, and they pack it and unpack it within 2.5 hours. Okay. So you are most welcome into our home, said Namgyal, as he led me to a big cone-shaped tent. They call their tent ribo. Yak hair is woven to make stripes, okay, which are stitched together. So these are the strong and the warm. These are strong and warm and protect them from icy strong winds. So what protects them? Ribo. What is ribo? A big cone-shaped tent. Okay. I saw that the strips were tightly tied with 9 sticks. The ground is dug about 2 feet deep. The tent is then put up around this on the higher part of the ground. Okay children? This is very important in this teacher's note. In the language of Changpa, Changthang. What does Changthang means? Changthang means, please underline children, Changthang means a place where very few people live. What does Changthang means? A place where very few people live. Okay. So, are there words like this in different languages spoken by children? As you go high up on the mountain, the level of oxygen in the air becomes less. Okay. And at times people have to carry oxygen cylinders. As you go on the mountains, the level of oxygen becomes very less, okay, and you get the headache and all. So many times people needs to carry the oxygen cylinder when they move on the mountains. But it is not expected that children understand the concept of oxygen. Now you know oxygen, right? An oxygen cylinder, high altitude, as we move up the oxygen level decreases. Hence you have to carry oxygen cylinder when you go up on the mountains, right? Now the world famous Pashmina shawl, this is very important, children. This whole paragraph is very important. You have to underline the whole paragraph. It is believed that a Pashmina shawl is as warm as 6 sweaters. Please underline. Pashmina shawl is as warm as 6 sweaters, but it is not as thick as 6 sweaters. How it is? It is very thin yet very warm. The goats from which the soft Pashmina wool is collected are found on very high altitude. Altitude means height on the mountains, okay, of 5,000 meters. In winter, the temperature here drops below 0 until to -40 degrees Celsius. A coat of warm hair grows on the goat's body. A coat of warm hair grows on the goat's body, which protects it from extreme cold. The goats shed some of their hair, that is fur, in the summer. So some shed means it falls. Baal jhadna, वैसे their hair fall. It sheds off in the summer. So this hair is so fine that 6 of these would make as thick as one of yours. So your one hair is equal to their 6 hairs. Okay. So their 6 hair together makes your one hair. Means it is so thin, but it is very 6 times warmer. The fine hair cannot be woven on machine. Okay, it will break because they are very fine, very thin. So sweaters are so weavers of Kashmir make these shawls by hand. Okay, so this is a handmade shawl. Pashmina shawl is a handmade shawl, and it is a very long and difficult process to make this shawl. Almost after 250 hours of weaving, one plain Pashmina shawl is made. 250 hours means how many days? Tell me. 240 means 10 days. Yeah, and 10 more hours. So it takes almost 11 days, isn't it, to make one shawl. Imagine how long it would be to make a shawl with embroidery. So the Pashmina shawl takes more than 250 hours of hard work, a plain Pashmina shawl. But when you want to make it an embroidered, then it will take more hours. So that is why it is very costly. It is very costly. As we stepped into the tent, I realized that I could stand up straight. It was not like my tent. It was the height was too high. The tent was very high. So that man could stand up straight. I also saw that the rebo was as big as a room of my flat in Mumbai. It was held up by 2 wooden poles in the middle. There was an opening to let out the smoke from the chulha. Namgyal told that the design of this tent is more than 1,000 years old. The tent protected the Changpas from extreme cold. Okay, so the skin for the tent also they get from the sheep also. You know that? The goat, from these goats only. How cold must it be? In winter, the temperature drops many degrees below 0. The wind blows at 60-70 kilometers per hour. Imagine, if you were on a bus which was going at this speed, how far your house would you reach in 1 hour? It will take long time. Near the Rebo, there was a place to keep sheep and goats. Okay. Changpas call this as Lekha. Please underline, the place where sheep and goats are kept near the Rebo, that place is known as Lekha. The walls of the Lekha are made with stones. Each family puts a special mark on their own animals. The women and young girls count and take the animals out of Lekha. They count how many animals they have and they take out of the Lekha. Yeah. So now towards Srinagar. Children will do this much only for today. Okay. This is towards Srinagar, and there is a little bit of these diagrams are very important, children. Okay, you have to draw all these diagrams, all of them. They are very important. They are asked in the exams. Even this shikara is also asked in the exams, right? Okay, and then a return journey, and this we will take in the next period. Okay.